Today's video is sponsored by Soundcore. And although they sent me these out almost a month ago, they did not tell me what I could and could not say, and they did not get to approve this video. So they're seeing it at the exact same time that you guys are. Now, enjoy the video. All right, guys. So today's video is finally on the pair of true wireless earbuds that I know a lot of you have been anticipating. And I'm actually one of those that falls into that group. And I've had these about a month now, so I've had my time with them. I definitely feel like I have the right feel for it. So the pair that we're going to talk about today is the brand new Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro. Now, I do know, because I've always kind of seen it in the comment section, that there is a lot of my viewers that have bought the previous versions, pretty much going all the way back to like the Liberty Pro 2. I think that was like the first one that just kind of wowed people. The 3 did the same thing, and the 4, they kind of went in a different direction. So I think that makes it really interesting to talk about this pair. So we're going to talk about a lot of the new features. We're definitely going to talk about the sound, what all comes inside the box, and see if it's worth its new retail price of only $129. We actually can start there. I find it very interesting, and I've kind of seen the theme lately, especially with like the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds, that companies, I think, are realizing the market is very competitive. So these earbuds are now coming out at a much lower retail price, and they're actually running a buy one, get one deal for the first 3 weeks that these are released. Now, this isn't, getting a free pair of earbuds for buying a pair of earbuds, but they're throwing in this pretty nice like leather or pleather travel case to keep your earbuds case protected. And I think it's going to be even more important this time to keep the case protected because of the functionality that it has this time around. So that is actually a pretty sweet deal. And I will have all of this information linked in the description if you're interested in checking these out. And another thing that was very interesting about these is they kind of went in a completely different direction from a design standpoint. All the previous versions have just been the regular, just plain old earbuds. With the Liberty 4 Pro, they've decided to go with the stem style design. Again, this is another theme that I've seen a lot of companies do lately. And I think the reason that Soundcore went in this direction is not only do stem style earbuds stay in your ear better, there's just better stability, but it also gives you more room to house more components. And they definitely have quite a bit of components in these. One, it is using 2 different drivers. It's using a 10.5mm bass driver and a titanium coated tweeter. And it's using a digital crossover system so that you can really get full emphasis on the bass without it affecting the mids and the treble. And another thing is they're labeling these as the most reactive noise canceling. They're using 7 sensors in here, so all of those have to be housed in the earbuds. 6 of them are dedicated for sound, and there's one that's actually dedicated to barometric pressure. So this has a lot to do if you're going to be using these on an airplane, which a pair with noise canceling, that's going to be something that people are very interested in. It is using their new Advanced Active Noise Canceling 3.0. It is constantly adapting to every situation, what's going on around you, the sound and everything going on, where every 0.3 seconds, it's altering to make sure you're getting the most out of your noise canceling. So again, that's a lot of stuff being crammed into these earbuds. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about the actual design and the usability of the case, because we just talked about the earbuds and some of the things it can do, but the case this time actually has a little display that it has a touch sensor up front, so you can actually control some things on the case itself. And at first I thought this was going to be gimmicky. I didn't think it would be that useful. But once you see all of the things that it can actually do, which we'll talk about once we get into the app, it's actually pretty useful. Now, these do come in 3 different colors. It comes in a glossy blue, which is the one that you see here. It also comes in a glossy black, and then it comes in a white version that is a matte finish. And the important thing to know here is you can only see the display through the case on the glossy version. So if you get the matte white version, you cannot actually see that LED display while the lid is closed. You would actually have to have it open. Now, as far as some of the tech on these, it is using Bluetooth 5.3, so it does support multi-point connection. You can connect to 2 different devices at a time. It is high-res wireless certified because it does support LDAC. I've always said this is huge because this makes sure that you're getting some of the best Bluetooth quality without having to worry about compression and things like that in your audio. Now, I did briefly talk about the app. I think Soundcore has one of the best apps out there. This allows you to keep your earbuds updated. And in this case, This also allows you to keep the case updated. I had an update for both the earbuds and the case. And once I went through all of that stuff, this is where it opened up everything. So you have your different EQ options for your earbuds. You can customize the EQ settings the way that you want. It even has the Hear ID feature where you go through a quick little listening test and it just puts together an EQ that it thinks that is more catered towards your preference. And this actually worked really well. This time I found that I actually liked the Hear ID EQ more than I did the usual soundcore signature EQ that comes on all of their earbuds and headphones. Now, also within the app, they have spatial audio. There's actually different modes of spatial audio. So it even has it where you can pick if you're listening to music or movies or games, and the spatial audio is kind of catered to each one of these. And I think this is important because you'll always notice in my videos, I say that I like spatial audio for movies and TV shows, but I don't necessarily like it for music. And so you can tell they're trying to cater each one of these for each specific thing that you're going to be using them for. And it's all actually pretty effective. I still don't like it for music. That's just personal preference, but it works great for everything else. Now, also within the app, this is where you would turn these on to have LDAC playback. Do keep in mind, it's going to use a little bit more battery life. Now, you can also go in and turn on your multi-point connection. You can also switch around controls if you need to. Now, the controls on the earbuds this time around, it actually uses a squeeze gesture and a swipe function. And I am happy to say that out of the box, you have control over everything. Another feature that it has that we've seen on some earbuds lately is the easy chat feature. So if you're listening to music, somebody comes up to talk to you and you start talking, it will automatically lower the volume so you can just carry on a conversation and not actually have to take them out. And then it'll just go back up once you stop talking. Now, these do have the smart sensors, so if you do take them out of your ears, it'll just pause and then it'll go back to what you're listening to when you put them back in. And then also within the app are the different noise canceling modes. Now, this is something I actually like a lot. You can control how much of the noise you want to block out. You can switch it into wind reduction if you need to block out, wind on a windy day if you're outside. And the noise reduction level or noise canceling level, you can actually control on the case. And other features that you can control in the case is you can control your remote shutter. So you can use the case to actually trigger your phone to take a picture. Also on the case, you can turn it into that spatial audio. And there's a Find My Earbuds feature that on the case, you can trigger it to basically have whatever earbud start to make a noise. It'll help you locate, like if you dropped them in the couch or they're left in the room that you're in. And again, that's convenient. You don't have to pull out your phone to actually do it. All of those features are right there on the case. Now, moving over to talking about the actual noise canceling itself, at $129, I didn't really expect it to compete with the Sony and the Bose. But I'm gonna say this, if you have the noise canceling turned all the way up to max, it actually competes with both the Sony and the Bose. It blocks out not only lower tones like engine noises, AC units, things like that. It actually does a really good job of blocking out people talking. This is where a lot of other earbuds usually don't do as good a job, but Soundcore really just knocked it out of the park when it came to the noise canceling. Same thing with the transparency mode. I think the mics are doing such a good job on these earbuds. Everything around me sounded pretty natural. I never had any issue being able to carry on a conversation without actually having to take these out. And if you're not listening to music, you can actually kind of forget that you have the earbuds in your ears because of how natural everything gets channeled in from the mics that these are using. Now, when it comes to using these outdoors, it does only have an IPX5 rating, so this isn't like completely waterproof. It'll be fine against sweat and splashes and rain and things like that. Make sure you don't drop these into water. And then as far as what all they've included in the box, it does come with 6 sets of silicone ear tips. So you'll have no problem finding one that'll actually fit your ears. And it does come with a USB-C cable. Now, these do also have Qi wireless charging, so you don't have to use this USB-C cable. But speaking of the charging, battery life is also very impressive on this pair. In fact, this has one of the best fast charging features, but battery life alone, if you use these with the noise canceling off, you're going to get about 10 hours on the earbuds and about 40 hours using the case. Again, LDAC is going to bring the battery life down and noise canceling will bring it down. Spatial audio will bring it down. So just keep in mind, the more features that you use, the less battery life you're actually going to get out of these. But if you do pick them up and they're dead, the fast charging on this pair is with a quick 5-minute charge you get 4 hours of use. This is probably some of the most impressive fast charging I've seen on a pair of earbuds. And then if you're gonna use these for taking phone calls. Now this goes back to all of the mics that they have on here. They're also using an AI to kind of hone in on your voice and block out a lot of your surroundings. And I also think they do a really good job with their mics as well. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is the mic test using the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pros. I am outside. There is some traffic noise not too far from here, and there's a slight amount of wind. But this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. Now in typical Soundcore fashion, these do a really good job of having a very aggressive low end, but it has lots of space. And again, I think this kind of goes back to the fact that they have a driver handling the low end alone and having a tweeter that's handling your mids and highs. And having that crossover system just allows the bass to be on its own. Like it's just not blended or mixed in with everything. And this is a just dynamic sounding pair of earbuds. It is meant to be fun. This is probably one of the brighter sounding true wireless earbuds out there, but it still kept it from being like overly aggressive. It didn't get to that point of being harsh where you had the siblet sound in S's. It's kind of trippy what they're doing with the treble, about the same thing that they're doing with the bass, because usually bass will close in everything. It sounds a little bit more congested, and the space that these have just make them sound open. And the treble, usually the brighter it gets and gets to that harsh point, it just makes it not as fun to listen to, and that was never an issue with this pair. And I honestly think that even when you go to the mids on this pair, vocalists had such an upfront approach. I could go from metal to pop to hip hop to rock to classical, and I never had any problem hearing certain instruments. I never had any problem hearing male or female vocalists. There's a lot of detail in vocalists, and it just doesn't have like an artificial sound to it. You usually start to hear some compression or some digital artifacts in a lot of other earbuds when it comes to different things, especially the mids. And I never, again, had an issue with this at all. And then when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, again, because of the space in the bass, it just has this really open sound. And then being able to tell where sounds are coming from, I never had an issue with this pair. So to wrap it up, and my overall opinion on these is this is probably going to be a lot of people's like best earbuds of the year. It's way too early to kind of make that claim right now. But when it comes to features and then when it comes to sound quality, these just threw everything into this pair. Now, I'm still not a fan of the stem style design. I know that that's kind of becoming the new thing that a lot of companies are going towards. I still would have liked to have seen it just be a normal pair of earbuds, but I do think the features and the controls and everything that you're getting on the case and the unique way that they approach this is definitely something that makes this pair stand out. Now, if you just look at the earbuds by themselves, they look like some of the other Soundcore earbuds that's been released this year, but the case is, I think, what's drawing a lot more of the attention. But the fact that the earbuds deliver and everything else, again, this is another one of those. Soundcore just took the approach that we're gonna come in and show you that we can give you so much for your money. The value is there, and you don't have to spend close to $300 for Sony, for Bose, for some of the other high-end earbuds, because not only do these deliver when it comes to like high-end noise canceling, but it also does it when it comes to audio quality. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Soundcore Liberty 4 Pros. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.